Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I wanted to do a quick book review on something I got from the thrift store today for $1. That is Person, a novel by Sam Pink. I'm not a big book reader anymore, but because this book was 87 pages and almost $1, and I skimmed it and it seemed kind of funny, I decided to give it a whirl. So, shout out to my buddy Bald Book Geek on YouTube. Um, I had no idea who Sam Pink was or what this book was really about. As I said, I just skimmed it in the store, and it was interesting enough to read while my child and wife were watching Rudolph just now. So I figured I'd chime in and do a quick 5-minute video about it. So Sam Pink is some kind of alternative writer who puts out like independent books. It looks like some of his stuff is on Amazon, and you can get it in other places as well. Um, the book is written in first person, so it's this person talking, like, I went to the store, I felt like this, I did that. And throughout the book, there's all these, what I would call intrusive thoughts. So maybe you go somewhere and you have a funny feeling, or you see something that's really cool, or something reminds you of something else. This book puts all that kind of down from the person's perspective. Um, the main character is a fairly, I don't want to say unlikable, but sort of unlikable slacker who has bad hygiene, and he just drones on about going places, doing things, not doing things, people he meets, and then in his head, how he processes the information. It almost sounds like an autistic person. And I'm not saying that in a pejorative sense. It sounds like someone who's processing things in a strange way and then spitting them out in a way that's also strange, but is normal to them. But everyone else sort of goes, that's a little different than maybe the norm. Again, I'm not saying anything negative. I have lots of autistic friends. So there's parts of it where he keeps referring to himself smelling bad. People start to smell him when he's at a store or when he's on the train. Um, he's constantly seeing flashes of things in his head. So maybe something will happen, like he'll say, "Oh, whatever. I'm making up this. This isn't in the book. I hit the baseball, went really far, and then a neon light went across my head, spelling the word glorious." And throughout the book, things like that keep happening. He says, "In my head hole," I guess it's his brain. "In my head hole, I see in neon lights the word spectacular," and it just does that throughout the book. Um, the book doesn't have much of a plot. It's sort of a meandering story, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's sort of a meandering story about this guy's life, how small it is, how small he feels, and how he isn't accomplishing or doing much, but is going on about his days and his times. The other part that I found kind of interesting in this book is he has a roommate, and the roommate is almost as weird as he is. They say things and do things and react to each other the way most people don't, or if you do, this would have to be like two women, but it isn't, it's two men. And I say two women because they're constantly saying how much they love each other and they hug each other. I love my guy friends. I've hugged them on occasion, but it's not something we normally do unless something bad is happening, or, you know, a relative dies or something crazy. Um, did I like this novel? It was definitely interesting. It kept my interest. Is it something I'd read again? I don't know. Probably not. Um, they call it again alternative writing or alternative literature. This will this will be good for someone who maybe has Asperger's. I know nothing about Sam Pink, by the way. I don't know if he has Asperger's, but this reminds me of the way the thought process works and the things in your head that you make up, but you don't act on them. Where in the book, he acts on them sometimes. And if he doesn't act on them, he thinks about them almost like he's in a TV show or a movie, and he's doing things for some form of entertainment. And he's saying things in his head, and then he says them out loud, and they sound kind of, crazy. Um, Trying to think what else I wanted to say here. It says here the person reference in the book is you. So besides someone who maybe has like Asperger's or some kind of learning thing going on, I think this is good for someone who is young, feels like they haven't amounted to much, maybe like dubbed a slacker, um, and that's about it. It's just strange ongoings from this person and their thought process. It doesn't, again, really go anywhere, but it is kind of fun. It did make me chuckle a few times, and it is fairly interesting. I think some people, most people, will probably relate to this book in one way or another. If not at my age, I'm in my 40s, probably more when you're in your 20s, where things aren't really laid out in front of you and you don't have much of a, you're not sure where you want to be or what you want to do yet. Anyway, that's what I thought of this book, Person by Sam Pink. Let me know if you guys have read any other, of his works. I'm interested to hear what you think about him and what you think about his books. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.